What's up, everybody? Silver here with another Halo Master Chief Collection Achievement Guide. This time we're doing It Was Inevitable, which is in Halo CE, beat the par score on 2 Betrayals. So to start up this level, I'm doing this on the Legendary, so I get the maximum amount of points for every kill I get. You want to start off this level by moving forward, because immediately you're under fire by the Sentinels. So move forward, and you get behind some cover by doing that right away. And then just overcharge Plasma Pistol each of the Sentinels, and it will kill them in one hit. And just move forward, and we are going to continue through the level. This is probably the longest level in this game. The most tough, the most challenging. I know the library is the favorite for a lot of people, and by favorite I mean least favorite, but this level's very tough as well, so we got our work cut out for us. Let the Sentinels and Grunts and Elite fight each other. They're all on different teams, so it's the Elite and a bunch of Grunts versus Sentinels. Let them thin each other out, and then you can move forward. After the initial wave of enemies, there will be an additional Elite that spawns in the back, along with a couple Jackals, so I threw a grenade back there to hopefully take out at least one of them. It looks like it took out nobody. This guy I thought was dead. I thought I took him out, but apparently not, and I paid the price for it in losing some more health. So we're moving up here. There's a big despawn glitch right here. We are going to move up, and we are going to hit this panel 1, 2. So about that timing, you want to hit it. And it might take a little bit of practice. You might get it on your first try. Just hit it 1, 2, and it will actually despawn all the enemies. There will be 2 Jackals and 2 Elites, but that is it. So I threw a plasma grenade over there because that's where the Elites spawn. This Elite moved out for whatever reason. Usually they both just stand in the corner where I threw that plasma grenade, and then just take out the Jackals, and that is all that will spawn in this area, making it very easy to go down and get our Banshee. So we're going to go grab that Banshee. If you're having trouble with this despawn glitch, it's not too bad. It's right in the beginning of the level, so you could always restart if you really want to, or revert to last checkpoint to try it again. Though you do get a checkpoint right when you hit that console, so maybe not that way, but you could restart. It's not too bad, like I said, but if you just don't want to deal with it, you could always just take out all the enemies with plasma grenades. There's a few more Grunts that would spawn in that area with those Jackals and Elites, and you would just make your way down the pyramid. You could slide down to the right. You could take the path that I'm going to take with this Banshee pretty much. But just follow this path if you do have the despawn glitch down pat, and just jump out right here to grab a full thing of rockets and some health. And we're going to hop back in the Banshee, and we actually do have to spawn all the enemies in here to continue, or else we can't disrupt the first whatever beam, whatever, I don't know what kind of beam it is, pulsing beam, I forget what it's called, but just hop out here. We're back up where we were. You need to hit this console again to spawn the Grunts and everybody else. So you can see the Grunts are now here. Just go past them. You need to go down here to spawn enemies, go down here to spawn enemies, so just follow this path pretty much exactly where I'm going with this Banshee, and then you need to go down here to spawn everybody else. Once you hear the drums kick in, that means you've spawned everybody, and that Wraith will also be assigned. If that Wraith is active, that means you've spawned everybody you need to. So that is the path you want to follow even if you're on foot, and you don't do the despawn. Just make your way down that way, and that way you skip most of the enemies, and you can make a beeline for the Banshee by running around the Wraith. So just kill everybody here on this pad. There are 2 Grunts and an Elite, I believe. I think one of the Grunts is still alive in here. There we go. So kill that guy. There's going to be nobody in this room up here, which is good. Nice and easy. This is the first beam that we got to disrupt out of 3. And it's right in the beginning of the level. Unfortunately, the others are not as quick. So step in there. It'll take your shield down. Then you could jump here and just run through. There's going to be Sentinels. Sometimes they will take a little bit of health down. Sometimes they miss entirely and you just run through. If you really want to, you could just kill them, I guess, but I just run by them. Go over here for a fresh Banshee. Oh yeah, you don't want to park your Banshee when you're getting out on the left side of the door, because that is where a fresh Banshee will spawn, and if your terrible old Banshee is there, it will cause the other one, the good one, to just leave. It will spawn there, probably on top of it, and just fall off the edge, so that's not good. So always park not on the left side of the doorway. So we killed 2 Elites and 2 Fuel Rod Grunts there, and you actually want to make sure you just steer clear of any dead Fuel Rod Grunts, because their guns actually explode after a few seconds of being on the ground. So you can't pick them up, unfortunately, in this game, but they will explode, so just get out of the way. I do have the Boom Skull on. I have 3 skulls on. Only one, well actually 2 affects gameplay, but one is a serious one, the Boom Skull. It makes explosions have twice the blast radius, so it makes my grenades much more effective. But again, that's kind of a double-edged sword. You can't be near your own grenades, or obviously you would die. And also, there's some rocket flood in this level, which is not cool because it helps them out, because obviously rockets are an explosive weapon, so. Also, carrier forms, if they blow up, they are an explosion, so their blast radius is doubled as well. And that goes for enemy grenades as well. They could also throw grenades, so watch out for that. This room, you want to take one jackal on at a time. It's very tough to take on multiple jackals at once. You can see they did a number on me. So you want to kind of single them out. If there's a big group of them, feel free to throw a grenade at them. This area, this hallway, the first long hallway we come to, throw a plasma grenade all the way at the end there, and then shoot a rocket about there. It'll kill most people. There was still an elite alive, but I took him out with a shotgun from pretty good distance, so he was very weak. We're going to move through here, and the two other skulls I have on are Pinata, so every time you melee an enemy, it releases a plasma grenade. A plasma grenade is dropped whenever you melee an enemy, so that's good for replenishing your own plasma grenade stores. So why not throw that on? And also I have Grunt Birthday Party on, so that doesn't affect any gameplay. None of those three skulls affects scoring. You could turn on other skulls that make the game harder for you, and obviously that will increase your score. So throw a grenade through the walls here, and you kill a bunch of people. There's going to be some jackals that come up as well. You may have noticed that I hesitated before coming into this room. There are a bunch of flood, and then there's some elites towards the left, so I let the flood go towards the elites at first, and then I could throw a grenade into the middle of all of them and kill all of them. So there's a couple health packs here as well, along with some frag grenades. So I'm going to throw some plasma grenades over there again, because there's just more enemies that keep coming out of the door there. Also, if you wait too long, which I guess is good in this case, if you wait too long, there will be flood forms that come out of that doorway as well. So that's kind of good for points, because obviously the more people we kill, the more points we get. Another item you want to consider when it comes to score, though, is the time. I know it doesn't seem like it should be related, but it is. There is a time bonus. If you finish in the par time, which you probably will not. I mean, it's very hard to finish par time on Legendary for this level. I think the par time should have been more. It's 20 minutes, but I think it should have been like 25 at least. But this level is pretty long and trying. A lot could go wrong, but anyway, enough of being a Debbie Downer. If you get the par time, you will get a 3 times multiplier, and then as you finish with worse and worse times, you get a worse and worse multiplier, so it drops to like 2.99 if you finish just over 20 minutes, and then 2.98, and it goes all the way down to 1, which is basically not a time multiplier, because 1 times your score is just your score. So this bridge, there are multiple elites, so I threw a couple plasma grenades to thin them out. There's also a golden sword elite, so that is the priority, obviously, because he could just sneak up on you and kill you. Obviously, they're all in front of you to begin with, so it's not too bad with the boom skull on. You have rockets and grenades, so it takes out a lot of the enemies very easily, because they don't really have any room to run away from your grenades. They're kind of in a choke point of sorts. This room is one of the hardest rooms in this level. You want to come here immediately, smash the glass out, and shoot right there. Throw a frag grenade over here. Usually I get more kills on both of those. And you want to throw, or not throw, you want to shoot a rocket over here as well. And then focus on the middle, because there are people who will come down the middle sometimes. And we are pretty good for now. There's a bunch of infection forms here, so I'm going to smack a couple, shoot a couple, and now we're going to make our way over to the right. This is pretty consistent. I worked out the method for this room after a long time of trying to get my part-time down on Legendary, at least. Not part-time, but just speedrun time on Legendary. So you want to throw a grenade over here, then move over here a little bit and throw a grenade at that group of enemies, and that should clear out pretty much everybody in this room. There might be a straggler here or there, so keep an eye out. You don't want to just think everyone's dead, because there could be a shotgun flood form around the corner. But I think I've killed everybody at this point. And we are just going to hug this wall, go under this window, and hug the wall. We're going to go here and throw a plasma grenade against that back wall in that hallway. And then we're going to step forward, and that spawns 2 elites in. So you can see they kind of turned to the grenade, and they're like, what is this? And then they were dead. But then just turn around here. There's going to be 3 flood forms in the middle here. I jumped and shot a rocket at the back wall, because there's actually a 4th flood form who has rockets all the way around the corner here. So if you just shoot the back wall here, that will kill him before he has a chance to turn around and shoot at you. So that's definitely something you want to do, because the rocket flood forms can definitely destroy you, even on normal Legendary. But I have Boom Legendary, quote-unquote, on. So his rockets are much more effective at killing me than they would just be on normal Legendary. So some ways you could get points are multi-kills, so things like double kill, triple kill, overkill, so try to get as many of those as you can. It's fairly easy to get some of these multi-kills in this level because there's so many flood forms and you could kill so many at once with all these explosives. But go through this room like I did, throw a grenade where I did, and run over here. There's going to be 2 or 3 flood forms and a health pack for you, so take out the flood forms, grab that health, and I like to throw a grenade there. It's kind of risky though, because if you accidentally stick an infection form, he'll just keep following you and possibly kill you if he's close enough to you. Come out here, there's going to be a group of enemies. I like to take out the carrier form because it actually blows up and acts as a grenade for me. I get all those kills too that the carrier form blew up and got, so that's nice. And also there's 2 banshees. You want to wait for them to shoot at you, and when they shoot at you, that means they're going to be diving right at you. It happens all at once. They're going to just turn and look at you and then start shooting, and that means they're on like a straight path. They're not going to deviate from that path unless you hide. So you just want to keep strafing back and forth real quick while the banshee is shooting at you. So you minimize the amount of shots he gets on you, but you also make sure that he's still shooting at you. If you hide behind something, he'll immediately pull up and your rocket will miss. So you want to just make sure he just keeps on driving straight into your rocket, and then once it hits him, he blows up and he's dead, and you get a bunch of points because it's a banshee. At the end of this bridge, more towards the middle actually, there's a bunch of rocket flood. So I threw a bunch of grenades. I didn't want to take them out with my shotgun because that would risk them shooting me, which is very easy for them to kill me when they're shooting at me with rockets in such close quarters. So you can see all the rockets I just picked up from the dead rocket flood. But here I'm smacking all these guys to get some plasma grenades. The Pinata skull is on, so whenever I melee an enemy, they drop a grenade. But that also works for popcorn flood, those tiny little popcorn flood guys. You might think it doesn't work for them, just because that would be silly if it did, but it does actually, so use it to your advantage. And we're just going to shoot out that glass and throw a plasma grenade. And we're going to move over here, and whoa boy, we're going to go through this glass now, because those carrier forms were too close for comfort. Try to avoid those guys, obviously. I mentioned it before, the explosions are twice as big, so those guys could do a lot more damage to you than normal. I did not intend to run straight at a carrier form, but he was there this time, so not cool. But that plasma grenade we threw through the window initially when we came in here pretty much clears out this section for the most part. There might be 1 or 2 people still alive, but you could obviously take them out with your shotgun real quick if they're still alive. So move through here. I'm going to cut this part out. We're just going down an elevator. So I skipped to us being down at the bottom. We're going to go through this room very easily. There's a bunch of flood in here. 2 drop down, but we're just going to hug the right, follow this path, and then we're going to hug the left here. This allows it so you don't have to fight any enemies in here. Just ignore that guy we just ran under. There is 1 guy who's going to be in your path, and you could shoot him if you'd like, but you probably don't even need to shoot him. That was the guy right there. And we are through this flood room, and it's always very consistent. That always is the case. They don't ever follow you or anything if you just follow that path. And we're just going to come out into the snowy fields, and there's going to be a Grunt and a Elite. An Elite, for you grammar people. Normally the Elite and the Grunt both move to the left, but that guy was not moving. I usually wait for them to move past it, past this ghost, and then get in this ghost. But that Elite was not having it, so I just decided to kill him. I was going to let you live, buddy, but not anymore. So just go over here, follow this path. You want to give the Wraith a wide berth, because obviously if you're closer to him, he's more likely to hit you. And that goes double if you have boom on, because the Wraith mortars are explosive rounds, so their damage radius is twice as big. So that's kind of a drawback for, another drawback I guess, for using the boom skull. But if you plan accordingly, it's definitely beneficial for you. It's a lot easier for you to kill people, but you just got to know how to deal with other enemies having a bigger blast radius too. So I hopped out of the ghost there. We're just driving past everybody at this point. Grab some health, and there's rocket ammo down there, and also some grenades. You want to drift to the left at this point, and you'll get a checkpoint. If you just sprint straight at the banshees, you don't always get that checkpoint, so it wastes 1 or 2 seconds just to get that checkpoint, and that's something you'll probably want. Sprint at these banshees. Take the first or second one. I don't know. I think a lot of people take the first one. I take the second one a lot of the time. I don't know why I do that, but whatever. To each his own. It does the same thing. Probably lose a half second or something, but just fly up, and you want to fly up and to the right of the giant pillar-like plateau in the middle of this canyon, and then come at this landing pad. I'm landing on the left side of the door like I said to not do, so I'm going to throw a couple grenades to get the Banshee to get out of there. I was kind of rushed because of the Banshee shooting at me and everything. You want to kill the Grunt in this area for sure because he has a fuel rod actually, so he could definitely kill you very quickly. So he's the priority over the elite actually. So I did end up killing the elite, and there's another jackal on there you saw me kill. And we're running into here. This is the second beam. Get your rockets ready. Shoot a rocket back there. Throw a grenade to follow up, and that killed everybody except for one person. What are you doing, elite? I just did your job for you, and now you're shooting at me? Come on. That is not gratitude. Maybe you're worried I'm going to, like, steal your job or something, maybe. But I have other stuff to do, trust me. I am just doing your job for you real quick, and I am out of here. I'm sure there's going to be more flood you got to deal with now, but now you're dead, so. Walk into that beam and immediately throw a frag grenade back into the way you came, and shoot a rocket, and throw another one, and shoot another rocket. Make sure you're throwing these grenades and rockets very far away from you again, because the boom skull's on, and even without the boom skull on, you do want to give yourself some distance between all of these explosions. But then just run back out, grab this Banshee. I knew there were like 3 or 4 Banshees right under me, because I actually died a couple times here. So I'm just waiting here for the Banshees to pass, because they were just on my tail the whole time otherwise. So just dive down here. You don't have to kill anybody. The par score for this level is like 16,000 or something, fairly small for the length of the level and the amount of points you can get just killing everybody. If there's ever a Banshee shooting at you from behind like those two just were, just do a 360. Just go in a circle and keep going. That will most likely lose them. You can see they're not shooting at me anymore. And you want to drive straight down this tunnel, and you want to not be close to the bottom, but not close to the top either. You want to be more up than down, I guess, but you don't want to be close to the ceiling either, because the rockets will probably miss you, that the flood forms were shooting at you there. But you definitely want to be away from the ceiling, because it might miss you, but it might hit the ceiling if it misses you. So if it does that, the splash damage may kill you. So just get out of that Banshee, and we're going to run back here. I sped it up a little bit. I activated that console to open up the door, and then I threw a plasma grenade at the door, so it hit the door and fell down and killed the 2 or 3 enemies that were coming through the gap. That's not totally necessary, but it's just something I like to do. Then you want to run back to this ghost. Most of the time, all the enemies in this area have despawned. Sometimes there's still like 6 flood forms, and one of them usually has rockets, so watch out there. But normally you're totally in the clear. You can see in this instance, they were all gone. Then you want to take out these enemies. There's like 3 or 4 carrier forms on the other side, and there's usually like 3 combat forms as well. So just killing everybody. We're going to get the ghost into the... Oh, there's another carrier form. We're going to get the ghost into the next section. You could actually push it through very easily with the Banshee. So you want to park your ghost, stick your butt through the gap here. Just get out. Normally, that's odd it let me out on that side. Normally it lets you out on the other side, but whatever. You're going to hop back to this side either way, get in the Banshee, and just nudge one of the wings of the ghosts. I chose the left wing. You could do the right wing as well. It doesn't matter. It's just as effective. I just killed that infection form for a plasma grenade, because again, the Pinata skull is on. More grenades is good grenades. So we're going to go over here, and we're actually not going to speed by. We're actually going to slow down considerably here, because you have to spawn all of the waves of flood, and it actually takes a little bit of time. So you can see the first wave is a bunch of infection forms, which is whatever. They're not really threatening me in any way, really, because I'm in a ghost, first of all, and even if I wasn't, I wouldn't really care about them anyway. But these guys are also spawning, and I'm taking it slow. And you want to move slowly up, and when you do that, more flood will spawn. You can see 1 just popped out, 3 just popped out now. But you want to park about here, so you could use that structure to your advantage for a little bit of cover. You don't want to drive straight at that console, because that would make you an easy target for the flood rocket guys. The rocket flood guys is what I meant to say. That was an odd inflection I chose. But then you want to activate the console and then move back towards the ghost. And again, we're using that structure that we kind of parked behind for cover. And you could always throw a grenade or 2 like I did to thin them out as they come around that structure. And then the doors will open, and we're going to go over here, activate this console. These doors will open, and we're going to go up here. You want to have at least 2 rockets probably at this point, preferably 3. The 1 rocket. This is optional. You could use a grenade for this as well, or a shotgun if you really needed to. But I like to shoot a rocket at those 5 flood forms. You need to kill all 5 flood forms right here, those 5 in particular, in order to spawn all the other enemies and the end of the level. It's very weird. I don't know why they chose those 5 that you need to kill, or they need to just be dead in general. You don't have to kill them, but obviously it's quicker if you kill them. And usually I get a kill-tacular, the 5 multi-kill, when I go for those guys with a rocket. But that time I didn't, but whatever. But just move through here. I like to go to the right. Some people like to go to the left. Be aware that this line of flood forms I just passed have rockets, all 4 of them, so it's kind of horrifying. So just kind of don't move straight at them, because obviously you'd be a very easy target to hit if you're just moving straight at them. You can see I kind of use that rock in the corner as a ramp to get up the lip into this section with the ghost. You want to wait here for a little bit because there's a bunch of flood that spawn behind here, and there's actually a rocket flood. So if you just blaze right through there, he'll just shoot you with a rocket. So I waited a little bit. This part is annoying with the boom skull on because it's another instance where there's 2 wraiths and their powers are greatly heightened with the boom skull on. So that's why I didn't drive straight at the banshees and get in like a lot of people do normally. So I just shoot the wraith over here. This is the one wraith that's the most troublesome, it seems. So I shot it with a rocket. I threw a plasma grenade. And I'm going to shoot another rocket at it, and that kills it. There we go. So that one's out of the picture. The other one on the left seems to be more fixed on all the other enemies and just ignores us, usually. Sometimes he'll shoot, but for the most part, he'll ignore us. The one on the right that I did take out is the one that you want to worry about. But we're pretty much at the end of the level now. If this is too difficult for you on Legendary, or you just don't want to deal with it, or for whatever reason, you want to do it on a lower difficulty, you could always put on more skulls, like Famine or Mythic and other things, Fog, to make it so that you get a good amount of points for every kill. Obviously, if you go on a lower difficulty, your base score for all the enemies won't be as good as if you're on Legendary. But you can make up for that with skulls, because skulls act as multipliers as well. So just pick and choose any skulls that you're comfortable with. I almost died here because I'm an idiot, and I parked a Banshee in such a way that I could not move towards the door. So I had to wrap around the long way. Thankfully, there was a health pack there, though. And we are in the last room now. Just shoot out this glass, run up to this beam. There's a few sentinels in here, but we're just going to ignore them. I threw a grenade hoping to take something out for a few bonus points at the end, but no dice. But that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Click like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Follow me on Twitter at HaloCompletion, and I will see you later for more achievements.